Hello and welcome to the latest installment of the Guns Gear series. I'm finally bringing the review of the WE-tech gas blowback M14. Finally bringing it to you because I promised it, and it's just been so hot here in Arizona, above 100 degrees every single day. So it's kind of cloudy, so I figured I'd make the review now. So I got this gun for only $100 off Craigslist because it was broken. All it needed was a replacement part in the trigger box that costed about $6. So I replaced the part, and now the gun is fully functioning again, which is something I wanted to do before I brought the review out. So the gun is fully functioning. The only thing that's wrong with it is it's missing a cosmetic pin right here. The pin pretty much doesn't do anything, it's just for show. And it also has a rail kit. Okay, so for some specs, I pulled them off of e-bike. Right now it's for sale for $340, quite a lot. E-bike mentions that it is a one-to-one replica of the real M14, so if you get the wood kit, since the wood part on this is imitation polymer and nylon fiber, the wood kit, along with how the rest of the gun is full metal, would make it a very, very realistic airsoft gun. The front and the rear sight is adjustable, and it is a full travel bolt gas blowback open bolt system, so the realism on this piece is as high as you can get. So, pulled off e-bike, it tells me that it is 45 inches. This is my longest gun in my entire arsenal. It's pretty much a sniper rifle, so that's the role I would put it for. It weighs 11 pounds. Now, 11 pounds is kind of heavy for an airsoft gun to be carrying around all day, so it's not too heavy where you can't like shoulder it and keep it steady and stuff, but it would be heavy to the point if you were at an all-day operation kind of thing. The inner barrel is 445 millimeters long. The magazine can go from 20 rounds to 30 rounds with the inclusion of a little piece that should come with the gun, which mine did not come with, since it is used. It has an FPS of 360 to 400, which is comparable with 20 grams, but personally I use 30 grams since it is a sniper roll. It has 14 millimeter threads, negative, which means that all your common flash hiders and suppressors that fit on AEGs will fit on this gun just fine. It takes green gas or propane, but I recommend propane since it's cheaper and this gun takes a lot of gas. It goes semi and fully automatic, which is a lot of fun. And the only thing I'm missing is the speed loader and the manual, and probably the box, but who needs all that? So first of all, this is a full-size M14 flash hider. So first of all, the flash hider will be painted orange, but this is a full-size M14 style flash hider with an adjustable front sight, which was adjusted to the right, which is kind of annoying, puts the accuracy way off. I have not figured out how to change it yet, but there is a screw, and what's funny is that it's the same screw used as in the firing pin to the 1911s from WE-tech. This part here, I believe, is for a bayonet, but the M9 Matrix bayonets sold at e-bike do not fit on this part. To take off this M14 specific flash hider so it will not fit on any other guns because of these alignment grooves in the barrel, this nut has to be twisted off. But even if it's twisted completely off, mine is so stiff on the very last thread that it will not come off. Which is pretty lame because I really wanted to put a suppressor on this gun. And pretty much just touching the barrel nut will make the paint come off. So yeah, whoever had it before me definitely painted the flash hider black, which I recommend. But yeah, you untwist this barrel nut and then the entire flash hider should come off along with the front sight. So I'm going to do front to back and full review mode, and we'll go over features along with that. So the flash hider, I assume, is made of aluminum, so is the barrel nut. Here we are at the barrel, which appears to be made of steel, so that's pretty cool. Probably adds to the weight of this gun as well. Here we get to this part. This is part of what makes the bolt come back and forth because there's a spring in there. But taking a look at the front of it, this piece kind of unscrews itself kind of easy, so I recommend just tightening that every once in a while. Finger strength should do it. Here we get to this part. This is aluminum and this is aluminum. This is steel and the barrel is still steel, but this part is not. This is a little screw. Appears to be made of steel. It's cool. This is steel. The magazine is steel. And yeah, that's your whole front barrel assembly in a nutshell. This next piece is the heat shield. I am very disappointed with the quality of the heat shield. Well, should it be, because it is WE-tech. the WE-tech hate to a minimum. Dollar store Chinese plastic. I said in the reveal, this is just crap-tastic plastic. Doesn't seem to flex, so I can't see this breaking unless you directly drop it on this. Maybe you'll get a good sized crack in it. But yeah, it's really cheap. I think I've seen it, the replacement part on e-bike, for maybe 15, which even then is too much. This piece here is made of steel. But yeah, it's kind of an ugly, glossy plastic look for the entire heat shield, which is a big section of the gun. Pretty ugly, pretty cheap. Wasn't kidding when I said it was hot. My iPod overheated, so I put it in the freezer, got it nice and chill. We are at the first sling point. Now, it swivels. Seems to be integrated very well. I mean, this is not going to break out. As heavy as this gun is, I definitely trust the sling points. Now, it appears to be made of steel, which is very, very good. And yeah, it's just not going to come out. Now, this is the bolt. I love the bolt. Oh, it is just awesome. Now, this piece, like the real one, comes back. So I would recommend not to put your fingers, not to hold the gun like this, because when it reciprocates, well, I don't think it'll chop your fingers, but it's moving pretty fast. So just keep your fingers pretty much tucked in about here. So the bolt, by far, is just the best part of the gun. And when it's firing, it's just so awesome. It's sweet. So the bolt, no way, can't be. WE-tech never does this. Looks like it's made of steel. Wow, props to WE-tech for making a steel bolt. That's awesome. The dust cover is aluminum. This thing is steel, so this whole thing up to here. I can see why it's $300 now. They put a lot of steel into this gun. There's a look into the chamber. I've heard that you have to take it apart to adjust hop up, but don't worry, we will be doing a full disassembly. Underneath this thing, you can see the barrel and part of the recoil system. I'll get a good look at that once it's been disassembled. This is the rail kit that mine came with, and I do not know what it is. I can't recognize it from the ones I've seen, but e-bike sells rail kits for M14s. It's really good. I mean, the recoil on this thing is great. The highest recoil I've ever felt, more than a .22 long rifle, so that's good news. It just sounds great, feels great, looks great. You know, it's awesome. You can check to see if your hammer is cocked, because there it is, uncocked and cocked. So yeah, you can get a look. You can check to see the weapon's loaded. And I don't know if this thing really works as a... Oh yeah, the safety's right here. What am I thinking? But back to the top. So this is the rear sight. Has the adjustment knob. I'm not entirely sure how it works, because I think whoever had this before me had it on backwards, because this would spin. I mean, yeah, this would spin, but the other one wouldn't. So it was kind of confusing. I'm pretty sure that this adjustment is to make this entire unit go left and right for windage. As far as this little thing, that is the sight, and it is a decently sized sight. It's not too small, and it works very well for precision. So these are adjustment knobs, serrated to get a grip for them. So this is the selector switch. The real M14 only goes semi-automatic. So that was semi, and then you rotate it to where the A is showing for full auto. Now this thing moves around. It seems a little odd. The angle should be like that, so that's how you know you're in the right position. This might work as a safety in the middle, not sure, but doesn't have any trademarks on this part. So this is aluminum, rear sight's aluminum. Pretty much the whole rear sight unit is aluminum. Except for this part right here, right in front of the sight. That is steel. Okay, so on this side of the gun is the bolt catch. I've never really figured out how to get it to work, and I've heard from some people that it is really stiff to use. So yeah, I'm pretty sure you just push it in. It kind of doesn't make sense to me, but that is the bolt release. we will move down into this section where all the guts of the gun are. So this is your magwell. The piece that lines the magwell is made of steel. So a lot of steel in this gun, which is always a great thing. Magazine release has a very strong spring in there. That's good news. Your magazines aren't just going to come falling out. So this is the inner workings of the gun. The trigger guard is made of steel, of course. It's quite apparent. It is very apparent in the way it looks. Looks like it's got a bit of rust to it too, which makes it even cooler World War II themed weapon. The trigger is made of aluminum. The safety, which is this switch right here, should go... Oh yeah. I was having a bit of trouble when I replaced the part, but it looks like it goes in now. So that is the safety. So now the trigger will not bulge. The safety is made of aluminum. The magazine release lever is also made of aluminum. This body pin right here is made of steel. Basically, we're in the back of the gun now. I want to note that you can see a line right here, which is part of the compartment in the stock. So I'd say that the imitation wood is actually really nice. I thought it was real wood for about 2 hours, but it is reinforced nylon fiber. Very, very, very strong. You could probably throw this around if you wanted, the gun itself. And nothing will really happen to this nylon fiber. So this is your rear sling point, which is fixed positioned. It is, strangely enough, made of aluminum, but I completely trust the sling points on this gun. This is the buttstock of the gun. It is serrated and it is made out of steel, which is great. This whole thing flips with these hinges here so that you can shoulder the weapon and have this part pretty much, you know, on the top of your shoulder. It kind of puts your head really low, so this is probably real shooters. I want you to comment on what this is exactly meant for. It's a nice feature. I'd rather have it there than not have it at all. Alright, so second time the iPod's overheated and I had to put it in the freezer again, so drop a like for enduring this ridiculous amount of heat in Arizona. It's quite ridiculous how hot it is. Here in the back we have this plate, which is aluminum, I believe. Yeah, it's aluminum. And these screws are steel, and this plate is definitely metal, is aluminum. So to open it up, you press in this button, and that is the inside of your compartment. So decent amount of space. You can actually fit, for size comparison, you could fit an 8.4 volt nickel hydrate battery. Decent amount of space. It's the cleaning kit for the real M14, fits in here. We're going to go into full detail about the mag in just a second, but this is how it goes in. It is kind of weird. I figure it's more of an AK style where you go in an angle and then lock it in, and that works. So kind of an AK style magazine insertion, but you can put it straight in there and it'll still go in. It's just a feel thing, really. You gotta get the feel for it, really. It's not difficult, of course, but yeah, you can hold the weight of the weapon from the mag itself, so the mag lock is strong. Okay, so this is the included magazine, I believe. I think he might have said that he replaced it, but it kind of has an OD color to it, kind of green. Doesn't really make sense considering the whole weapon is black and gunmetal gray. It is heavy, like I mentioned. Regular gas blowout stuff going on here. This is where the bolt lock should be, but I took it out for now because it was locking on every shot. The feeding lips are polymer, but they're incredibly strong. It could hold 20 to 30 rounds, like I mentioned. It should come with a tube-style speed loader to get the BBs in. Otherwise, I do it by hand, and it's kind of hard to do. But I think a speed loader with the adapter might work with this gun. Like I mentioned, the magazine is steel on all the parts that are metal. This appears to be aluminum. The black part, which is what the internal of the mag is made out of, holds a decent amount of gas, in my opinion, and I have not experienced any cooldown issues because it is probably just too hot here to even get that way. This is the fill valve and the bottom plate, which moves around a tad bit. You're supposed to be able to put like pretty much a flat head, pry it in and open, and this will come sliding off the plate. And you can replace your fill valve or take off these screws and maintain your magazine. Pretty solid, good quality. It is steel, so that's always great. And yeah, it's a great magazine. I think these are about $30 to $40 on e-bike. Disassembly on this gun is very easy. There are no tools required. It is all done by hand, and it is quite fast. The trigger guard has to pop up and out, so you want to grab it. Yeah, I've done it a couple times, so it comes right out now, but this part here goes into that hole, and then you can have it as a handle and pull the whole trigger box out. Once the trigger box is out, the upper receiver comes apart from the imitation wood stock. So this is the wood stock. Doesn't weigh too much, maybe a pound or two. Here's your upper receiver. Here's your upper receiver. See your nozzle there. Here you can get a look at how the recoil system works. Pretty cool, just like the real one. Yeah, it looks like it locked back. But there's your spring. You can probably upgrade it to a new spring. Don't think you need to. And yeah, that's your internals. So this is where the hop-up is. Very inconveniently placed. You need an Allen key to access it. So there's the hole and there's the wheel. Silver wheel right there. Very inconvenient place for a hop-up. So you gotta take the whole gun apart to access it. Reassembly is pretty easy. You want to align this metal piece into this part and then just close everything up. Oh shit. Oh shit. Alright, so it drops back in. Here you could see how the bolt can be released that way instead of using the bolt release. So you don't really need the bolt release all the time. You can power stroke. So this is your trigger box. Now what was wrong with it before, and it's actually happening now, is this whole section here is knocked forward by the force of the hammer, since it is kind of a strong spring. This place needed to be replaced after 1,000 rounds, I've been told, happens each time with these M14s. So after 1,000 rounds, take your $6 and buy a new one of these and replace it. And yeah, it's identical to the real M14 in design, so the safety and, you know, this swiveling thing. I notice here that a section was shaved off right here, probably wear and tear. Yeah, the internals have their problems, as any WE-tech does. Reassembly is pretty easy. This pretty much drop it back in. You shouldn't have any problems with the hammer being cocked, but for the sake of it, I'm gonna cock it. Whoa. Okay. And then from there you just want to close this. Trigger might get in the way a bit, so just push the trigger forward and then push this down and it is locked. So now the gun is back together. Okay, so that was front to back for the WE-tech M14 gas blowback. To sum it all up, the nylon fiber is very, very strong. There are wood kits available that you can buy, so go and buy those. Trust the sling points, the heat shield sucks. The barrel is mostly steel and it has regular threads on it. So that was my review for the WE-tech M14. It is insanely hot out here, so I'm gonna wrap things up. Basically, I would say this gun, yeah, I agree with the $300 price tag. I would never pay $300 for it. I would only ever do it if I'm you and I really, really want a gas blowback M14. I will say that this is one of the most fun guns I've shot in my time shooting airsoft guns. The recoil is just impressive. So my final verdict for this gun is that I like it. I like it a lot, actually. It's a lot of fun to shoot. It sounds really good. I'm going to do a shooting test after this, and I would recommend it. It is the only gas blowback M14 on the market, so what other choice do you really have? Plus, it looks really, really cool when you put an EBR kit on it. I think there are a couple of parts available for it, and there are RA Tech parts, steel parts, so any problems that this gun has, you could throw some steel parts into it. As much as it's going to cost, it will make this gun unstoppable. It does have its problems being WE-tech and all. The shooting reliability actually from it, you know, speaking of cooldown and jams, I haven't experienced any of them so far in this gun. The only problems I've experienced are the parts in the trigger box having their faultiness. To replace them is cheap, but after 1,000 rounds, that's too little of an amount of shots for the gun to break. So I'm gonna put some 30 grams in it, adjust those iron sights, and try to give you all a decent accuracy test. You go? Yep. So I got the M14 with 30 grams and propane. We're going to be doing pretty much the entire backyard, and I'm just on iron sights, which I have fixed. And let's see how we do this. I'm looking nervous. I don't think I'm going to hit anything.
You might.
Fuck. Fucking WE-tech.
What happened?
It's not firing. This is bullshit. Oh, I fucking hate WE-tech. Alright, pause it. Alright, so in classic WE-tech fashion, the gun malfunctioned. It's already chambered. Alright, so there's a deer, there's a little sign, there's some soda cans, and there's a cardboard box. So let's see how I do. Did I hit the cardboard box?
Yeah, sounded like it.
I was aiming at the deer.
That's way off.
Yeah. What the fuck, man? It's fucking WE-tech. Oh shit. Like scared me.
Zach, are you aiming for the cardboard box?
No, I'm aiming at the deer.
That's way off. It's like going woo.
Now it's not firing again, man. I just fixed it too. This is a $340 gun. $340.
Go.
We're just gonna go full auto since WE-tech decides it's gonna be a piece of shit. Blocked for some reason. It's loud as fuck. You can hear it echoing off those houses. It's out of ammo. Are you sure?
Yep.
Alright, so in short, fuck WE-tech. That's the end of my review.